What's going on, everybody? We're live from a new location. It's been a madness couple of days, I gotta tell you, but that's all right. Everything around me is utter chaos. There are boxes and just bags and things everywhere. Um, the literally the only thing that makes any sense in this living room is the desk right in the middle of the room, and I set up all my like tripods and lights and stuff. That's it. But there's power cables coming from like extension cords all over the place. I had to dig through a box that was way back in that corner at the underneath all those shoe boxes was where my ink was in a box, and then I had to dig through a couple crates to find some paper because it's not the folder of paper. I found a package though of some archived paper that will definitely work. What's going on, everybody? Oh, welcome. No more basement for me. I mean, I gotta be honest. The basement was really cool. I really liked it there. It was just a little dark, sort of in the daytime. Granted, it's night now, so it's dark in here. There's really no difference in that regard. There'll likely be a little bit more, maybe traffic or other people sounds, I'm thinking. Um, just because now I'm in an apartment building and there's people walking around outside and there's much more going on. So there's chances for, who knows, dog barking and all sorts of stuff. I'm not protected by the silence of the basement anymore. Moving is fun. I don't know if I'd call it fun. Um, Being in somewhere new is fun. The moving part was it was cool. I had some friends help me out. I'm not 100% done yet. I was hoping to knock it out all in one day. Um, that was yesterday when I moved the bulk of everything, all the boxes and all that kind of stuff in. And then yesterday afternoon was I was taking more smaller trips in my car because I only had a U-Haul for I think 4 hours I had it for. So it was really quick. Load the U-Haul with all the boxes. Luckily most of my stuff is like shoe boxes and I have banker boxes. So all that stuff went in the mattress, all the big things. I don't own a lot of big furniture. So once that all went in the first trip, return the U-Haul, and then I've been doing trips in my car. And I just keep finding more random little things in the old place. So I now have almost everything out of that place. The only thing left in there is like my vacuum is still there because tomorrow morning I'm gonna go there and clean up because it's still a little messy. I'm gonna clean up the whole thing, vacuum the carpets, all that kind of stuff, and then come over here. And then I'll be done with that place. So the bulk is here now because today I was again making smaller trips with the car. Jumanji level 9. Yeah, it's been an intense day. I am worn out. I apologize in advance, but I guarantee you that tonight will not make it to midnight. um, Also, I don't have my Google set up, so I don't have all my Wi-Fi plugins. I don't even know where the black light bulb is. It's in a box somewhere. So, and I am exhausted. My bed is made out of pipe frame. It's a bed that I designed a couple years ago. And it's not built yet. So my mattress is currently up against a wall over there. So I need to build the bed before I can go to bed, or move the pieces and just sleep on the floor, which I may do. But I would like to build the bed today. It's kind of my plan. So I still gotta do that before bedtime. And my arms have been lifting boxes pretty much solid for the past 2 days. So I'm not sure how relaxed they're gonna be. They'll be relaxed, I guess. They are tired. But I don't know how much they'll wanna do what they're supposed to today. We'll see. Yeah, I gotta go back. I mean, they're getting somebody to come in and clean, but the place is pretty messy. And it's a lot of it is not my mess. Prior to me living in that basement, a good friend of mine had lived there for I think like 6 or 7 years. Um, so it had never been completely emptied. He had other roommates that came in and out, but he was always there. And then when I came in and he left, um, it was sort of the same thing. He took all his primary stuff, but the things that have, how things accumulate in cupboards and stuff like that over the years were just still there. So I can't imagine the last time that the cupboards and drawers were cleaned. So I'm not gonna scrub everything, but I want to empty. I mean, I've already emptied out all the cupboards of all the stuff that isn't mine and isn't his either. That's gonna go in to donation and stuff. Now I just have to box that up, take it to donation, and then yeah, I'll clean up. I'll vacuum and I'll give a wipe down in the dust of the space so that it's nice and ready. Because I think they have new people moving in like a week or something like that. So yeah, and then it'll take me a while to set up this place. I'm super excited though. It's gonna be hopefully in my brain. It's really cool. I've drawn out a floor plan and everything already, just because I'm that kind of artist. Um, Back here will be a whole long desk unit and shelving, and I won't say too much about it because I don't know if it's all gonna work out like it is in my brain. But I'm excited to get everything here organized and probably get rid of a bunch of the stuff that I own. Video is lagging. Uh-oh. That's not a good thing. When this is my first time also, hopefully, I mean the lagging shouldn't be what the video should be good. This is my first time on this internet. I got my new internet set up today in this place, so it should be fast enough with the package that I got. If not, I'll have to make some form of upgrade or something. Share your dream board. It should be really cool. I don't know where the drawing of the floor plan is, to be 100% honest with you. It is likely in a box that is in a bag that is somewhere in this room. I don't know where 90% of my belongings are at the moment, because they all just like boxes, or just look like boxes. I hope that lag is my computer and not the internet. I think my desk got, because it's a really old desk, and I feel like every time I move it, it gets a little more like rickety, maybe. I might have to either try to take it apart or take it to somebody who does vintage restoration in the area, because I can hear it when I'm doing my ovals here. It's creaky. The one disadvantage to using a super old desk. It's my favorite possession, but it is on the rickety side. So I'm not gonna lie, I have zero like game plan of what I was planning to do today, because my brain has been completely somewhere else. So I don't know. Maybe you guys have something. I'm not gonna do infinity names, or maybe I can do some of those. I'm gonna let myself up to your suggestions today. Whatever you guys want me to do, I will do. If nobody suggests anything, I will just sit here and write. Just some practice. I haven't written in a few days because I've been packing and doing all that stuff. So everything is maybe just slightly not warmed up, but it's feeling okay actually. Whoa, not sure what happened there. One for T'Challa. I could do that. How did the bad pylon travel? It's funny that you mentioned. Wait here. Give me 1 sec. There is the bad pylon. Well, here, I'll put it down here. It's easier to see. So there is in the front seat of my car. This was the last trip that I took today. It's me and the bad pylon in the passenger seat, and then I have a Lego. It's like it's from Ninjago. When I was at Legoland, it's a Ninjago Lego mask. And I just put it on the back of my seat, so my car has character. But yeah, so the bad pylon has his own seat. I feel like I'm just a cartoon character sometimes. This video's not sponsored, but I love Subway. I just ran to Subway and ran back before the live started, which is why I don't even know where my paper towels are. My nib cleaning cloth today is a Subway napkin. Why doesn't he have a seatbelt? So I did try to put a seatbelt on him, honest. But he is a little on the fragile side, and the seatbelt is strong enough to crush. It was crushing his glasses. The cone part would probably be fine, but his glasses aren't designed to be the most structurally sound things. They're just kind of pieced together. So he went risky styles, no seatbelt. I know, against the rules, but he is the bad pylon after all. He kind of does what he wants. That'd be fun. Gotta find somebody who does chibi art. Notice I get these funny. My compound curves start rather interesting. Or not interesting. They're like, that one's nice, but they get sort of janky a little bit. And I think, I don't know exactly why, but I think that's because you'll notice in my movement, I start moving and then I stop and then I start the stroke. So it's my touchdown, I think, is where it's coming interesting. And I do start moving before I touch down, but potentially not enough. It's always worked for me when I do like entry ovals and whatnot. I don't like to enter off of like an air oval. I don't like to do this and then go right into it, just because I find where that touches down is always slightly different. And I kind of, sometimes I want it to be farther back, sometimes I want it to be starting from farther forward. So I've always, and I've done it since day one, I do my motion, I stop, and then I start on the fly. And that totally works for my horizontal ovals, but it seems like it doesn't work for a pull stroke, for a compound curve downstroke. And I'm assuming part of that's just because I'm not as comfortable with push-pulls as I am with ovals, because they're not quite as natural of a movement. So I have to start planning. Whoa, shaded way too soon. Just feels so weird to start these ones well moving. I mean, they make definitely better hairlines. My form is all crazy. I feel like I'm thinking almost too much now, but it is one thing that is consistently, I have issues with the drop down. And there's a little bit more weight there too. The hairline isn't as fine as it should be, because I'm starting from a dead start most of the time, or from not moving. So I have to get in the habit of moving just a little bit before I touch down. But then that happens because I don't practice that part of it. Thank you very much. Whew. My arms are very tired. I had a physiotherapy appointment today for my shoulder, and I had to do some just like shoulder. I was in like a push-up position, and I had to do like no moving the elbows, but just like shoulder push-ups, just to try to engage some movement in the back of my right shoulder blade. And I was shaking. I was in a push-up position. I can't speak today. Push-up position, and the practitioner was talking about like this is an ab exercise, so I get that like the abs are working as well, the shoulders and everything. And I was straight up like, no, my abs are fine. They could do this all day. Not all day, but my shoulders are dying. And it was like my biceps and everything were just like shaking because I had no energy, or I had no strength left. My strength was tapped out. Oh, that's a good compound curve. That's gonna take some practice getting a nice smooth entry. I mean, I guess I could just do them hairline for a bunch, but that's not very exciting. They're just always very inconsistent, I feel like, which is not good. Granted, should have warmed up, so maybe that's why. Or a contributing factor. Chibi's cool. When I lived in Japan back in 2001, I was at one point of my trip, I was a sensei, a teacher for an after-school kids program, and there was one boy, I can't remember his name. Unfortunately, I have it written down at home somewhere. Back home, back on the farm. But there was this little boy who used to wear my hoodie when we were playing like capture the flag and stuff like that in the gym, and he would run around yelling that he was Chibi Michael. Chibi Maikeru is what he would say. Chibi Maikeru, and he would just run around and play the game, just wearing my hoodie or something. It was quite hilarious. He would be much older now, which is weird to think about. All those kids that I worked with when I was there are borderline adults now. Ooh, is it on there? I haven't seen it yet. I haven't posted that writing attempt or that writing session for that signature. Yay! I won't do it now because I'm live, but note to self, go check out the Brian Walker tribute site. I loaded the site, but I didn't really peruse around it very much. That's a hard signature to do, actually. Interweaving. How did it go? Then that's the hard part, is getting this to be completely horizontal and getting the nice shades and everything. And then getting the G to finish and follow the same horizontal, so it has to fit right in the middle here and then right up here. The hardest stroke of this signature. Right into... Oh, that's not a bad shot right there. Not a very good stem or W, but... Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's one of the harder vintage ones I've designed, vintage looking ones. I can't decide if I like better, like on this one, where all these three match sort of in the same spot, which is what the one that's posted online is, or if I like it better when there's the shade, and then the line comes out, and then the other line comes in, so it creates this like this even spacing in there. That was the original. That's the goal technically, but pretty much every time I write it, I hit that same point, which also looks cool and looks like I did it on purpose. Um, I know, for example, James is talking about it, and when I first showed him the variation, he said he liked that point, how it all matched up there. But this is technically the goal, but I also really like the way it ended up happening, and also this little 3-leaf clover type of thing we got going on in there, which wasn't in the original one. And then somebody in the Discord, actually, in my Discord server, suggested how we could get a 3-leaf clover in there. And that's when that became the goal, to hit that entry stroke from the A right inside that little oval. It's a cool signature. It's a tough one, but it's a fun one. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I always feel like in my head that that could make a really cool H. But then I try it and I feel like it doesn't make a cool H. But every single time I write it and keep going, my brain thinks it could be a really cool H. Yeah, it doesn't work in... I mean, it could, I guess, technically. Mama Ward. What? Oh, I didn't read that my mom's here. Hey, Mom. Welcome. All set up? No, my desk, my camera, and all that is all set up. But if you guys could see what's around me in the vicinity, like there's literally tipped over boxes. That whole corner is all probably, I don't know, 30 or so shoe boxes in that corner. My piano's back here on my cutting table, which is not actually set up as a table. It's sitting on a set of drawers. And then all the globes are all over the floor. Not set up, unfortunately. That it's gonna take me some time. But eventually we'll get set up in here, and the background will change. But the video stuff is all set up. I gotta fix where everything plugs in, because it's all plugged in kind of all over the place, with extension cords everywhere. And plants. Yes, Fozzie, don't worry. I will. I almost went and bought one today, but I was a little, I was not in my own mind today, running around getting stuff done. So tomorrow I might go to either a greenhouse or even just like a Home Depot or something and buy. I think the first plant I'm gonna buy, I'm gonna probably buy 2 first. I'm gonna get a vine of some kind, like a pothos vine, but I don't have a tall bookshelf to hang it on yet. That's the plan eventually, for it to drape down off of a bookshelf. And then I will buy a fern, a Boston fern, because they are my favorite plant, and I've always had them pretty much everywhere I lived except for the basement. Um, Unfortunately, they've either died or or I've had to move away from them. But growing up at my mom's place on the farm, we had a giant Boston fern with fronds that were like, I hope I'm not exaggerating, but I feel like they were like 6 or 7 feet long, like this wide, giant fern that hung down from the roof. So that's always been a goal. I don't have space big enough to make one that big, but I like Boston ferns, always have. Oh, you gotta hang it higher. Just hang it, Fuzzy. Mama's making applesauce. Save me some. I mean, if it's good. I'm assuming it'll be good. I found deep within my kitchen cupboards and the basement, I found many jars, probably like 10 or 15 jars of homemade jam that my sister made that I have to now use. I had it all, but when I got it, it kind of ended up going into storage because I was on the ketogenic diet at the time. So I couldn't eat it. So I put it in the cupboard and sort of forgot that it existed. Somebody over there, somebody meaning my sister, my mom will relay the message to my sister. I need somebody to make choke cherry jam. Choke cherry jelly, not jam, sorry. Choke cherry jelly. I feel like most people probably have never even heard of it or tried it, but it is amazing. I'm pretty sure I have some Saskatoon jam or jelly, which is really good, but I don't remember the last time I had choke cherry jelly because my dad doesn't make it anymore very often, and my sister hasn't made it in a while, I don't think. She's the jam maker. She's the jelly maker of the family. Choke cherry jelly. Well, the choke cherries are huge this year. Good. I look forward to some choke cherry jelly when I come home for Christmas. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. Oh, check that out. That was an accident. But look at how perfect that connection is. Totally unintentional. Oh, come on, I can't zoom in that far. Look! It's like there's space on both sides of that little... It's right in there. Call those happy accidents. Thanks, Bob Ross. When really cool things happen completely unintentionally. Cooking show will be fine. Maybe that'll be one of the late night lives. Maybe once I get everything set up, I'll set the the camera up in the kitchen, and I will cook something, and it'll be late night live. There's been no set rules as to what a late night live really is. We just kind of do whatever. I was debating doing some origami today instead of writing because my arms are tired and I'm tired and all that kind of stuff. I could make a busy pizza. Yes, I definitely could. But then I couldn't find. There's a box in here somewhere that has my writing paper in it, that has the paper I would use for origami, and I can't find it. I don't know where it is. I feel like there's a pile of boxes over there. I think it's right at the bottom of those ones. So that went out the window. Zoom back out a wee bit. So now I'm just in a relaxing mood. We're trying to get in a relaxing mood. If anybody was here on one of the weeks when I talk about that stroke, that is what I should practice today. This stupid, I can't call it stupid because it's gorgeous. I just mess it up every single time. It's literally like it ruins every time I try to use it. It ruins whatever came before it because the only times I get it nice is when I'm not paying attention and when I'm just playing around. On duty. I mean, as long as the live is not taking away from your on duty duties, on duty, then I'm cool with it. Cooking? What are you cooking? I haven't. Good night, Mom. Thanks for stopping by. I can't decide if I like the R with a hard stop like that, or if I like it with a little oval instead. Or if it would look better with a larger oval. Can't decide. Go back and forth. Duty. Duty. Oh gosh. 2 capital D's in an infinity word? I feel like I would die. If you guys want to see some really nice ornamental penmanship D's, check out iCursive on Instagram. Check out Brian's account. He's been working on D's, it looks like quite a lot lately. If he hasn't been working on them a lot lately, he filmed a lot of videos of some really, really good ones. Yeah, his video, I'm not even going to try. He has them really good. I should dedicate some time to the letter D one day. Should be in the emphasis there. Those all came out relatively nice. What the heck? Why can't I do them nice when I have to? That's why. Did you see that? Oh, you may not have. My picture might have been in the way. So you see, all these started with a compound curve into an oval into a compound curve. All of them, and all the shades are, aside from that one, they're pretty, not too shabby. Then I started one from just a downstroke, like you would if it was the end of a word, and it all went to junk. So I wondered if that's what is causing the big issue, or if that's what's causing me to hang up on it. Maybe. Cleaning pots and Barkeeper's Friend is... I've never used it, but I hear people talk about it all the time. What's going on, David? We just hanging out. This blotter, I haven't cleaned my blotter in a while. I got white splash marks all over it. I gotta clean it one of these days. Ooh, if I make my bed tonight, maybe I'll watch... I was about to say Charlie Chaplin, but no, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the original, because that song just popped into my head. A victim of the random human jukebox. It doesn't make sense. Adding the shade should mess with my movement that much, and it totally does. It shouldn't. What's the GSM on this paper? I have no idea. Let me see if it has it on the packaging. I have a feeling it won't, though. Where is the packaging? Here we go. So this is not what you would consider high-quality penmanship paper. It's 3-hole punched. Adds fun to writing. 100 sheet. Yeah, it doesn't give actual paper specs at all on here. Aside from the fact that it's acid-free. Nope. It literally looks like the type of paper you would buy at the dollar store. It's from eBay. Just black gel paper, but it gets the job done quite nice. Yeah, in Comic Sans. Is that Comic Sans? Yeah. Not okay. I can't believe Instagram added Comic Sans in the stories. That's bananas to me. What's going on, Catherine? The shade is my nemesis. Murderstone. What's like, wait. Somebody already mentioned Jumanji level 9. That's like, I don't remember his first name. Wonderstone. That's the Rock's character, isn't it? Something Bert? No. Something Wonderstone. Ah, maybe. I mean, a lot of people really like it. It's, if there's any font that's more popular than Comic Sans, and I don't think it is, probably number one, Comic Sans. Number two, what I like to call the yoga font, or Papyrus. But I call it the yoga font because if somebody's making a flyer for a yoga anything, that's the font they use. Unless they get usually somebody to design it, then the designer won't use it. If you've never seen that, I think it's a Saturday Night Live skit about Papyrus. You should check it out. It's pretty hilarious. I know what you did, because of the Avatar logo. It's pretty funny. I foiled Papyrus once. I don't think I ever took pictures of that. I foiled a giant, like a blotter, and the design was at least, it had to be longer than one of my regular blotters. It was huge, and I foiled it in Papyrus with all like the cracks and design elements and stuff in it. It was cool. I mean, you don't have to feel guilty for using Papyrus or using Comic Sans. If you like it, use it. Who cares? It's like the equivalent in digital design is like the solar flare in Photoshop. A lot of digital design gurus will hate on you if you use a solar flare, but sometimes it looks cool. Looks like an ocean of compound curves. I think Papyrus is a nice font. I just think it's overused a little bit. And now it has a reputation, which was just made, I mean, even more solid when SNL did that skit. Well, then you could use it. The yoga font. I don't know if I will ever get this shade figured out the way I want it. I don't know that I have the patience for it today. Oh, I'm gonna try what Mame did on the Discord. Nevermore. The Raven. See, this is the perfect place where I would want to add one of those shades. But I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna mess it up. Not bad. But it's not big. Like that shade I would want to match the shade in the N as far as thickness wise. Can't do it. Century Gothic is a good one. My go-to has always been, and I know some people really don't like it, I've always been a huge fan of Times New Roman. You can't mess with Times New Roman. I think it's gorgeous font. Always used it in school. In school, I was never a fan of Arial, Helvetica, any of the sans serif fonts. Courier. That always looked like I think if I'm remembering them correct, like a typewriter font to me. But Times New Roman. I'm a sucker for a classic serif font. I'm gonna make another shirt that says that. Sucker for a classic serif. That's maybe a little long for a shirt. See? People don't like Times New Roman. People hate on it. You write really fast for a calligrapher. Well, the style of writing I'm doing now is ornamental penmanship, which was designed to be written this fast. Technically. Yay! Fozzie likes Times New Roman. Once this live is done, I think I'm going to post a poll on my Instagram story. I just lost a whole bunch of viewers on the video. Maybe that's because people hate Times New Roman and now they left the live. They will have none of this Times New Roman talk. Used the wrong way. How was it used the wrong way? Whoa. Come on, arm. Wake up. I mean, yeah, if it's a super informal thing, maybe it doesn't quite fit. That makes sense. It definitely works for a wedding invitation, for sure. Can you show me your grip? Does different calligraphy styles require different grips? I won't say that different calligraphy styles require a different grip, because I'm pretty sure people can do grips or different styles with very different grips. But I will say, I think it's most common for people to change their grip for certain styles. Specifically, I'll zoom out and you can see in both the little camera and in the top-down camera here. We'll talk grip for a moment. There we go. Focus. So, for when I do ornamental penmanship, this is my grip. I am barely holding on to the pen at all. It is like if I wasn't using a tripod as far as 3 fingers on the pen, it would fall out of my hand because there's no squishing or tension at all. The only time tension is added is when I do a shade, and that is just so the pen doesn't fall out of my hand when I'm doing a shade because it has to press down. But other than that, the pen is completely relaxed, or it can be relaxed. It's a pen, but my fingers are completely relaxed around the pen. Now, if I were to write slower, so if I were going to do slow Spencerian script or engrosser script or copperplate or a slower pointed pen style, I go to a grip where instead of here, where I'm like this on the page, where I touch this end knuckle For business writings, a lot of the old books talk about you skate on these pinkies. So when I do business penmanship, I sometimes do that. But for the most part, I'm using this entire little bit of skin on the outside of my pinky finger. And then just the very sort of corner of the next finger there. Is how I'm writing with my knuckles facing the ceiling. But again, for slower styles, I drop my hand to the right, where now this whole side of my hand is on the page. There's no weight on it, or not a lot of weight on it anyways, but it is lied down to the side. And then I ever so slightly, if I was here, when I roll over, you can see the change that's gonna happen in my fingers. Just a slight different, it just ends up being a little more comfortable to get the nib or to have the nib perfectly flat. Because when you're here, if I turn my pen over or my hand over, now my nib is at an angle. So I got to rotate the pen so the nib is always flat, because that's the most important part. Your nib is flat. You also have to change the angle of your paper. And then there's so that's the two main grips that people use for pointed pen work. Obviously, when you get into broad pen calligraphy and stuff like that, there are many more grips and different angles and things come into play. But for pointed pen, for the most part, with the oblique holder, it's either what I call a modern grip, which is a knuckles over to the side, like this type of grip. And this grip can be done without tension on the pen as well. But more often than not, you'll see white knuckles, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it gives people control. I personally just like writing without. I find it possible to get the same outcome without adding tension to my fingers. I don't want them to work any harder than they have to. And the same thing, if you use a traditional grip, you can use a traditional grip and you can grip the pen hard and write, or you can be light. The end result is the same. Yeah, so those are the two grips that I use for pointed pen calligraphy and penmanship. I hope that answered your question. Once I get this new location, my new apartment, set up a little bit more, I'm going to start doing a little bit more in the way of calligraphy. I don't want to call them tutorials, but just little things like that, little segments that discuss the difference between some of the frequently asked questions that I get quite a bit. Business penmanship? Sure. Let's talk business penmanship. So for business penmanship, I don't use an oblique holder. For business penmanship, I use a straight holder. Yep, this is a 101 in here. So I use a straight holder. Now this is a vintage fountain pen that just has a straight holder. It has the straight ferrule put into it, but it's no different than any dip pen straight holder. It just looks like a fountain pen. It was a gift and I love it. I think it's cool. So it's what I use, but it feels the exact same as any straight pen. So the main difference... Oh, calligraphy 101. Got you. Yes, calligraphy 101. So, for movement-wise, business penmanship and ornamental penmanship are very similar the way I do them. So this is my grip for ornamental penmanship. And now if I were to take this pen out and put straight pen in, there's going to be a slight difference. I wouldn't write exactly like this. When I do business penmanship, for whatever reason, if you notice where this sits, where my knuckle is right here, it sits right below my knuckle. That's where it's comfortable for me for ornamental penmanship. But when I do business penmanship, and I'm not the best, so you don't need to quote me, or there's other people to look to for business penmanship for the specifics and why they're important and things like that. But for me, I get slightly better results when my pen is slightly more vertical. So I do business penmanship like so. Not above the knuckles so much, pretty much right on the knuckle. And what happens then, you'll notice for ornamental penmanship, I keep my index finger very straight, straighter than most, when I'm using an oblique holder. But when I go slightly more vertical for business penmanship, what happens is the finger, where my line of sight is, my finger now, it's not in the camera because that's at a different angle, but the tip of my finger is basically blocking the point of my nib. So I can't see exactly where I'm touching the paper. So I bend my finger a little bit more. So this would be what you'd see, I think, a little bit more traditionally. And many people will adopt this same bent index finger with ornamental penmanship. I personally I'm very comfortable with a straight index finger when I do ornamental penmanship. So this would be my business penmanship grip. Again, right on the knuckle, a little bit higher. And then sometimes, like I'm still on the edge of my pinky finger, sometimes I'll rotate a little bit more to get right on the fingernails. And then you write like so. And so I guess those are the 3 grips. This one, I never really think of it about like I'm changing the grip when I go from ornamental penmanship to business penmanship. This is just a more comfortable hold for me than down here with a straight pen. I don't know if it has to do with the length from the end of my finger to the nib point or anything like that, but it's just more comfortable to go up a little bit higher, and I get nicer hairlines and consistent hairlines. Yeah. Is this a swan pen? No, it looks like a swan. I don't remember the name of the company that made it. There was a smaller fountain pen company from, I honestly can't even remember where it's from either. Paris? I don't know. I have to ask the person who gave it to me again because I forget. But it was a smaller fountain pen company. A lot of the old fountain pen companies, most of them, Swan, Waterman, a lot of the old ones, Parker, made black hard rubber pens. And a lot of them were designed sort of this very similar way. So once you get into seeing black hard rubber pens, they all kind of look the same back then. And some were made by the same factory, just like the nibs that we talk about. Some made by a same factory for different people. This one is none of those name brands. It's completely unbranded. But when this company sort of went under, if I'm remembering the story correctly, the children of the person who owned the company had all of this new old stock fountain pen hardware. And they found that without doing all like the intricate nib work and feed and whatnot like that, this was an eyedropper pen. So you would have filled it from the end here. What was I saying? Oh, they took out all of the inside and just put in a ferrule. I don't even think they had to drill it out. I think it just happened to be the perfect dimension. So it's just a metal, the round ones, the metal straight pen ferrules that are pretty much in every dip pen holder. Unless you have one of, I know Chris Yoke has a new plastic or rubbery one, which is really cool, and I want to try it. But yeah, just has one of those in there, and then you put a nib in. And then I don't write with the lid. I find with the lid posted, it's a little too back heavy for me. If you know me, you know I like a light pen. So yeah, it feels cool. Then I can cap it and it just looks cool. I also have a number of straight pens that I write with sometimes too, but this is the one that sits on my desk. These are the only pens that I know where they are. Is my little round case that has my black roller ball for notes. It has my straight pen. It has 2 mechanical pencils, 0.3 and 0.5. It has my red pen that I use. This is just for corrections when I'm teaching. I'm obviously not teaching now, but I always have this one in my thing because when I go to teach, I always forget to have a red pen and then I can't correct the way that I want. What else is in here? 2 little mini rulers. These are actually sewing rulers, I believe. a clicky eraser that I use for signature design, and then this is a chopstick. Chopstick's job is just to stop the whole thing from closing too far, because that's how the tail of this pen got broken a number of years ago, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, my jar, I think, is closed. What is this here? Sorry, I was chatting there and I missed some of the chat. Should a pen be light or heavy? That is personal preference. I know some people that use pens that I wouldn't go close to because they're way too heavy for me, but they're comfortable for them. For me personally, I like my pens to be incredibly light. I don't like them. The general rule for me is if I can feel it in my hand, it's too heavy. For calligraphy, like for fountain pens, a lot of my fountain pens have more metal construction, like my mechanical Pilot Vanishing Point and stuff like that. They're heavier because of the materials, and I don't mind them. I use those for business penmanship sometimes. But for the most part, as a general rule, I like my pens to be super light. But it's not a rule. It's just what I like. Does the nib have some residual ink on the bottom? Yeah, they kind of always, I mean, this white ink, there's a little bit underneath there. Same with, I don't know if the one that I had before. Yeah, there's a black spot in there. It's just dried ink. I was using Sumi last time I used this. So there's just some dried Sumi under there that I will clean off next time I use it. Not a big deal. It's not going to hurt anything. David, I would love to know your thoughts on hand lettering artists mimicking calligraphy, similar to Doyle Young. I don't know who that is. And common mistakes you see them make. I don't have any specific thoughts on hand lettering artists mimicking calligraphy. I'm a penman and a calligrapher, and I mimic hand lettering. So if somebody is talented enough to do something that looks close to what a calligrapher, professional or non, is achieving, I don't care. I think that's cool. There's a lot of people get into calligraphy by just trying something they saw. So if it's a hand lettering artist and they saw a calligraphy style, or they saw like copperplate, they're like, I want to try that, and they give it a shot. Potentially, they don't go through the steps of learning it and taking classes and books and all that kind of stuff. They just see it and try to recreate it. That doesn't bother me whatsoever. Because a lot of times, if they like it and they want to get better at it, then they're gonna seek out ways and books and stuff that teach people how to get better at it. If they don't care to get better at it, then they're gonna stay where they are at it, and they're obviously okay with that, so that's fine. As long as they are enjoying writing, drawing, lettering, that's cool with me. I don't care. I'm not a purist like that. I don't hate on people who try Spencerian or do things that they call Spencerian when they're not particularly trained in it. I don't care. My job when I see those things is to educate if I can, but also make people think it's cool and fun enough that they want to then try to learn it a little bit better. That can work in lettering, but not calligraphy, right? I don't... Pointed pen versus broad-edged. I mean, they're two different things. That's like comparing apples and oranges. I love broad pen. I'm not very good at broad pen, but I practice broad pen and brush calligraphy and whatnot as well. I'm working on Trajan's right now and Foundational Hand at the moment as well. I don't post a lot of those things just because that's what I'm working on. When I do them, if I create something I like, I post it. But I like broad pen styles. I'm super jealous of good friends of mine who are extremely talented and amazing at broad pen styles, like Batard and different black letters and cursive italics, gothic italics, gothicized italics. I'm not good at the names. I love them. What are my broad edge troubles? Not troubles. I just don't do it. I feel like when I do it, I'm decent at it, but it's not in my brain. So like if I do a flourish, like if I'm gonna do like do 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 do, not a great example, but these shapes are in my brain, um, so I can create them the way I want to. Whereas everything broad edge is just not in my brain. I normally have to have a reference. I can't freehand a lot of it just out of my head, and that's just because of lack of time studying it. I got into penmanship and whatnot with Spencerian and ornamental penmanship, and that's pretty much I kind of have my blinders on and haven't really practiced anything else actively because there's still so much I want to learn and a lot that I want to grow at with ornamental penmanship. So so I never took the time, or I don't take the time to study a lot of other styles, which I would like to. I really would like to. So that's a goal. But I've always been super focused on ornamental penmanship. Any recommendations for a fountain pen? Ooh, that's tough. There are thousands of incredible fountain pens out there. I mean, unfortunately, because of COVID, they're not happening now, but my suggestion is always to try to get to a fountain pen show. Most regions have yearly fountain pen shows. Hopefully, they'll be up and running again soon ish. And if you can get to one of those, then you can see, feel, sometimes, a lot of times, test out different pens and see what feels good in your hand. Because not everybody's hand is built like mine. Pens I like, other people hate. Pens other people hate, I really like. I don't use fountain pens a ton. I have quite a few of them. But I don't use them as much as I would like. Just because I use primarily dip pen because I'm always doing calligraphy. I don't write regular writing as often as I potentially should or would like to. Feather quills are tough. Books. My introduction to calligraphy was italic script. I've taken some workshops on italic. I feel like I can do italic relatively well, but again, if I took a pen right now and tried to do italic, I couldn't do it without finding the box that has italic notes in it, having that here and then referencing it. I can't freehand or freestyle other styles of or other styles of broad edge calligraphy, unfortunately. I would like to, but I've been lazy in my training of them. Or maybe not lazy. Maybe lazy is not the right word. I've been neglectant. Is that even a word? Not sure. Whoa, that S was not very good. Still getting that little hiccup we talked about last week. I think that was last week anyways. I was obsessed with broad edge, like black letter. I think I was in grade 7 or 8. The obsession didn't last very long, but I was obsessed with it. The only broad edge script that I do just kind of off my head, off the top of my head, is a variation of Unchill, which I call Ghetto Unchill. But it's just very not specific Unchill that I write very casually. What's going on, Daniel? Welcome. Ghetto Unchill. Yep. It was Antiquaria Bailey who coined that term. Because it's just Unchill without really worrying about all the rules and not doing, like, in calligraphy, you do like the one stroke this way, and then you do this one this way for an O, whereas Ghetto Unchill, I just write the whole thing in one big circle. It doesn't look as crisp and obviously not as good as it should be, but that's not it's just like a casual Unchill. It would be probably a better term for it, but I like to call it Ghetto Unchill for fun. I actually taught it last year in Philadelphia at the Philadelphia Pen Show this past February, beginning of February. Huh. Could you go in to an ascender stroke after an F like that? Ooh, I was your introduction to Spencerian? That's fun. Like on Instagram? Or where? What word starts with an F and has an H next? I'm trying to see if autocorrect will give me a word. F H. No, I don't. Well, never mind. I guess FB, FL works. I could go into an L. I don't know if it will look right. Yay! Instagram Spencerian. Fathom! Yes! Wait, is that how you spell fathom? Hmm. Do I like that? I can't tell. Kind of looks like an H. Or a really spread out H. Yeah, okay. Fathom. I thought it looked suspect. Okay, ruling out that idea. Fs cannot go straight into ascended strokes. I did a B. I wasn't supposed to. I was supposed to make that an A. Fuba. Yeah, that doesn't work. What about just a T into an H? Because there's lots of THs. Oh, I made it an F anyways. Whoops. Pretend that's a T. Fathom. Mm-hmm. Not how you spell yet. Yet. I'm daydreaming, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know if I like the T into the H like that. Flow, low, 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 low. What are your writing lines done with? Do you mean the, like the ink? Yeah, this is, P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, which I have to get some more of. Or the lines here, they're just lined paper. I didn't do those lines. I'm really curious to try the new Rhodia black paper. Has anybody in here tried it yet? Paul's paper? That has the really, really thin lines that in under certain camera angles, you can't even see it. It looks solid black. I really want to try it really bad. Also, Rhodia I feel like just released a black journal. It looks like one of their web notebooks, but it's completely black. And I really want to try that as well. Because that would be really cool to use as like a signature. Is this dry? Yep. As like signature paper to hand a book around or something like that. It's not as smooth as regular Rhodia? That's too bad. But I mean, as long as it's as smooth or smoother than this paper, which isn't very smooth to be honest, I still want to try it. Because I feel like it'd be blacker and the lines look better on it than this one. But that's sad news that it's not as smooth as this. I know I tried some black and some navy paper in Manila when I was in the Philippines. That was awesome. Ozzy would know about that paper. I have little pieces of it, but no actual like full-size sheets. I just have cut-offs from, I don't remember what they're from. That's not how you spell smooth. Oy vey. Or is it? That is how you spell smooth. Is it? Smooth confuses me all the time because it always looks wrong. Yeah, that's right. Okay. It looks wrong. Thank you very much. Now you guys have me second guessing my spelling every 2 seconds here. Oops. Smooth black papier. I mean, if you want to send some, Fuzzy, I won't stop you. It was really nice, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's a little bit thicker than standard paper. Maybe it isn't. I honestly can't remember. I haven't used one of the little pieces of it in a while. Um, so I always feel like I have really good black paper, but it just feels thicker than just like nice like writing paper. Um, so I always feel weird like writing correspondence or something on it, which is why I always end up using this. But this is just, it's like cheap, not really nice paper. I want something with more of a slightly smoother surface and just with a deeper black, whether lined or not. There's also a little trick, like I have some really good unlined black paper, and you can run it through a inkjet paper or printer. I wouldn't recommend doing it on a laser because I've heard that wait, am I having this backwards? No, certain prints, the ink doesn't stick to what you printed, which is what happens on some papers that have printed lines. But I've had success printing just on my home printer, black on black, and if it's good black paper, you can hardly see the black ink, but it does give you a line that you can follow a little bit. I mentioned that in a video a long time ago, and then I heard after that some other people were doing it and having good success with it. No, there's two S's, not two C's. I give up. I'm no longer trying to spell things right anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Huh. Is that an L or an S? What do you guys think? It looks like an S, but it... $85 GSM, okay. I have not purchased one of those holders. Sorry. Boom, boom, boom. Spelling is hard. There are two C's and two S's. So I was right. All I had to do was add another S. It just looked wrong to me when I wrote it. I'm second guessing everything now. You know what would be neat? If we started flourishing, I know people do this in copperplate and whatnot quite a bit, flourishing off of We just flourish off of a whole bunch of different lowercase letters in a word. Makes a lot of things probably way too loopy and whatnot, but Segend. It does look like an S. The L, to me, an L, it would have to come around this way. Or if I continued this, it would have looked more like an S. But, Segend. Me and spelling have never been friends, but as you well know, it never really bothered me all that much. Oh, someone's in trouble. Siren! Bummer. I don't know how Brian was doing those D's so nice. Nope. I give up. It's funny to me that give down. What would be the definition of give down? If giving up is to quit, is to give down to keep going and try harder? Come on, man, give down. Don't give up, give down. It does look a little bit like a D and a C, that is true. I thought that the first time he posted it. Give down. They probably are, Fozzie. I don't remember. Here, let's look it up. I cursive. I-C-U-R Civ. Yeah, they're both on the right hand side. They're both inside. So he goes down like this. Around. And then shade there and comes up that way. Whoops. I really gotta make that. Oops. That would have been good if I didn't shade it. Ooh, that's not too bad. These are much more narrow than that. Nope. We just drag the first little loop down to the baseline. Do you mean, yeah. I mean, in Is that little loop? I guess it can drop below the baseline as well, right? I've always liked the D where it drops all the way below. That has like a stem before it. But when doing the compound curve D, is it supposed to go below the baseline? I don't honestly know. Maybe. What's going on, Marilyn? Welcome. Doing swell. It's been a stressful couple of days. I'm just having tonight's just a little bit of a goofy writing session just to relax because I've been on the go for the past couple of days pretty hard. Oops. For me, it's getting like I like when this happens. Like when that first oval nests perfectly in the compound curve of the D. That's what I like when that happens a lot. I don't usually get that. Oh, nice. You got some white ink. That's sweet. Congratulations. Welcome to the Bleed Proof White crew. Not bad. It's also very weird for me to make those that like very old school ending flourish on them. I like to habitually go horizontal for everything. Hmm. Nope, too close together to shade both of them. How is Zig White ink? I've honestly never tried it, so I don't know. I'm trying to think what other white inks I've tried. I really don't think I've tried that many others. At convention and whatnot, I've tried other people's like mixtures of white gouache or whatever they're using sometimes, but for the most part, I've always just used bleed proof white at different sort of watered down levels. Is this paper dry now? Yeah. Waste not the paper. Jeez, my arms even hurt just opening a jar. Worn out. I need to take a day off physical labor tomorrow. This is also my body's way of telling me, yeah, Mike, you're out of shape. Palette white from the dollar store, how'd that work? Oh, my arms are... The break is not from writing, the break is from hauling boxes around. And now that I'm done hauling boxes, that'll be over. I mean, I guess I still have to move them around the new place, but no more hauling them to and from trucks and up and down stairs and things like that. Huh. I don't know if that worked out. Oh, come on. Super Flourish. I decided that my arm is not being very it's not it's not being very disciplined in doing specific forms and shapes today. So we'll go back to this is how I used to practice all the time. Instead of trying to do disciplined shapes, we just will not care about forms for a minute and write whatever the heck, however the heck we can. Just messy flourishes. I don't care if they work. Calm blue ocean. Part of me always wonders if that's how FL Towers was all the time. If anybody knows his work, people were like, yo, Towers, write me something. Be like, cool, what do you want me to write? And they would say, write my name. What's your name? Mike. And he'd be like, okay, cool. Your name's Mike. Here we go. Like, oh, I did that off camera, sorry. Right, it's like, what? What do you want me to do? I just imagine, I need to do some more write or some more reading up on Towers because in my head, that's just what he was like all the time. Because I mean, we all know he was very capable of doing really good forms and stuff, but almost every sample of his writing out there, like his signature work, is just banana pants. It's just crazy. And a lot of his like flourishes break a lot of like the rules that we say that you're supposed to do offhand flourishing and all that kind of stuff. His stuff is just out of the I don't know, out of this world. That doesn't make any sense. His stuff was just bananas. I feel like that's like how he would write. It's like, oh what? You want me to write the word fancy? Okay. Let's write the word fancy. He'd be that penman and be like, here we go. Let's do it. Crack his knuckles and then just be like, cool. How should we do this here? One stroke? Yeah, sure, why not? Like that's how he would write. But it's kind. I mean, I gotta be honest. It's kind of fun. I haven't done that in a while. Just let go and just not plan a flourish and just see what the heck happens. A lot of people, you may not have seen his work. There's unfortunately not a ton of it out there. I'm sorry that I can't remember specific scrapbooks and stuff that have his stuff in them. Maybe if someone's in here, I don't know if Mehmet is still here or if James is here, remembers sort of where his stuff is. It's sort of, it's in the scrapbooks. But it's just, it's craziness. And they'd be like, man, Towers, you're insane. You're like, I'm not insane. Maybe I am. There's just the eye. Insane. This is kind of fun. Oh, you think this is fun? Peh. To me, this is incredibly... entertaining. I don't know where to go now. I don't care. Let's see where it happens. Sure. That one didn't turn out quite as cool. The railroad, some of them, I like Courtney would get those oftentimes. Sometimes I'm pretty sure they drew them in. But when you go that fast towards the end of a flourish, you get that interesting, neat little cutoff. Unfortunately, it's nothing you can depend on. You can't guarantee it's going to happen all the time. If all of Courtney's ovals became fish, I wouldn't be surprised. He probably went through like a phase. Like no matter what he wrote. It was like a wedding. He's like, oh, it's your wedding? Perfect. I would like to wish the two of you a very happy marriage. How did he draw his fish? I can't remember. But they'd have little... Fish everywhere. I don't remember exactly how he drew his fish. Sorry. I spelled wedding right. Yeah! And entertaining. Yeah! Entertaining was I could have messed that one up pretty easy without paying attention. If I get too much into play mode. Play mode! Giant shade. Play. Play mode could be a shirt. Could be. Add it to the collection of about 800 shirts I have to design now from these lives. Play mode or playtime? Normally I use the term playtime when I'm writing, but play mode is... These are quite fun to do, not gonna lie. Thanks, David. It's literally, the desk is the only thing that makes sense in the entire building or in the entire room at the moment. Everything else beside me on either side is chaos. Like you guys can see over here, there's just boxes stacked over there. There's crates and stuff down there. Unbuilt furniture over there. It's madness. And I am not trying to do any nice writing at all right now. Just so you know. Of course, the pylons are always here. He was the first. He had to get his spot. It's very needy. But we're throwing forms out the window today because my muscles are tired and I'm just going banana pants. Sugar, yeah. I decided not to do that today. Not planned. And I do have sugar, but where is it? I have no idea. It's in a box somewhere in here. I'm gonna have to hold that off for a later, maybe next week, when I'm a little more organized. Right now, I'm just doing ridiculous, silly flourishes that are ridiculous and silly. Since you mentioned sugar, I'm imagining in my brain what F.L. Towers was like as a person. I'm just imagining that he was this crazy guy and people would be like, yo, Towers, write something fun. And he'd be like, okay, what are we talking about? Things that are sweet? Okay, let's talk about sugar. As you can see, not good forms, just ridiculous craziness going on for fun. Sugar! Some of them turn out cool, some of them don't turn out as cool. But it's fun to just go 110% and you don't know where things are gonna go. There's no time to think, no time to plan. It's just completely spontaneous. Confidence is key. Oh, I fell into a hole in the paper. Okay, that was gonna keep going, but it won't anymore. Whoa, look, that's like an eye. Or a football. I'm gonna say it's an eye. There. That's all bananas. And it doesn't look very good. So what we're gonna do is try to fill it up with words. Oh, I slowed down, I stopped. And I ruined the K. That's okay. That's okay. I'm crossing shades with shades, and now it's just becoming an absolute mess. But that's all right. Draw a key. Oh, I should have drawn a key. I didn't see your note. Could you flourish a key? How would one flourish a key? Oh, I did it again. I keep putting those two shades right beside each other. Too close. How would you flourish a key? What does a key even look like? That doesn't look like a key. That's a key. Now everybody knows. Oh, and it needs to have a hole right here, doesn't it? I mean, does it? I am in the habit of labeling. I guess you guys don't see most of like my failed attempts when I'm filming a lot of my videos, and most failed attempts when I'm not in a hurry get something like this, like a ridiculous note to self type of thing. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, good job! Exclamation point. Not thing, just random things or swear words quite often too come right after them if I mess up. Because notes are fun. Hmm. Those are notes. I'm going delirious, ladies and gentlemen. Yep. Those are the type of things that I also write when I write letters and stuff. Those are the things that get written in black light ink and whatnot. Just the silly little stupid things that get put on afterwards. Those are notes. I mean, I don't know if we can technically call what I'm doing tonight Spencerian. Really. Tonight is just Mike goofing off and creating horrible letter forms. Ah, I ruined it. I got too close. That would be cool if that ended up right there, maybe? And if this had space. Can we do that? Is that possible? Let's find out. That sort of worked. Ish. It looks weird. But that's okay. Eh. It's something. Is it good? I don't know. Am I stirring? No stirring. Just, bleed-proof white. I took the paste from the original jar in here, or basically I filled the jar with water and then put paste in it, mixing it until I got to a good consistency, and then I just dip. But I'm running low on paste. I need to... My jar's getting a little empty. But I have no more paste, so I need to fill it with water and go to the store, maybe tomorrow, and get some more bleed-proof paste. But, nah, I don't. I just dip straight in. Whoops, that didn't work. Ian Spencer. How do I check the consistency? I just try to write with it. Dip the nib in, write a little bit. After I write a little bit, you kind of pause testing. I don't usually write and then think, oh, that needs to be thicker or lighter, unless it's very apparent that it's too thin. But I like to write and then let it dry, because especially on this paper, sometimes this ink, when it starts to dry, it almost makes it look like brown, like it's pulling pigment out of the paper, maybe, because it's cheap, crummy paper. So it gets like a weird color to it, and often it loses some of its opacity, but then it'll dry, and sometimes it'll dry gray or dry super white. It depends. So I wait until it dries, and then I know what that swell looks like, and then I add more, or add more water or more paste, depending on what is required. Unless it's very apparent that it's like super gray and not white at all, then I'll just add more. Straight off the bat. Where do I get my black paper? This was from eBay. Like I showed this earlier. I think I might have shown this before you got here, Marilyn. This is the cover from this pack of paper. Like, super, almost what you'd find at a dollar store type of situation. Just dark paper for gel pens. Just in, like, bubbly letters. Yeah, so if you just look up, like, black gel paper on eBay or something, there's not even, like, a brand name. Oh, there's Riverside Paper Company is on there. But you just try it. I've gotten a few different brands when I've ordered something that looks like it was going to be the same thing. So sometimes you just get lucky and it works really well. Or relatively well, anyways. You are very welcome. You're welcome. Oh, nip snap. That's okay. We're gonna keep going anyway. Oops. That looks ugly. So what happened here? That is a very weird W. Um, I went into this flourish thinking, you're welcome. So I was gonna write, obviously, you're welcome, which starts with a Y. And then I don't know if the nib step messed me up or what messed me up. Or when I came down, I was focusing on the fact that I touched that hairline or something. But then I went up, and instead of coming down into a Y, I just made it a W for reasons unknown by accident. Oops. Craziness. Yeah, that's a really weird W. I don't know that I would do that by choice. Again. Eh. Darn it. Whoa, I ran out of ink twice there. What's going on? Maybe that's a little too fast. I guess the one downside of doing this style of ridiculous playtime is how much paper I go through so fast. But that's okay. Oh, that didn't work as a stem. Shoot. Oh, I messed that one up too. Bugger. This design was way cooler in my head. The potential there was better up here than in actual fact how it came out. I do like that E though. That work for other entries into... Huh. my name. Interesting. That is one cool thing that comes out of ridiculous playtime. It's really hard to think of new things when you follow the rules and the guidelines and the specimens and all that kind of stuff so strongly. But every once in a while, if you just go ridiculous and don't obviously mess up a whole lot and make things crazy, you kind of stumble across some interesting things. Sometimes you also stumble across a lot of garbage, but you never did Late Night Live in Infinity. Are you kidding me? That would be so hard. I don't even know. Oh, I can't do that. I can't use a stem like that. Oofty. I have to do a variation of the end that continues? Does that work? It looks a little chubby. Oh, if we used an ending T there. But that has to go into the next lowercase letter, which is an I. Oh gosh, how do we... Hmm. Then I have to somehow get there all the way to a beginning L. That will take a whole lot more planning and brain power than I think I have right now. I like this little interesting connection, though. I am a fan of it. I think it's better in hairline form than in with little shade. Maybe just an accent shade. Oh, that's supposed to be a C and it looks like an E. Darn it. Yeek. This had a little shade. Somebody's yelling outside. I'm gonna do one more page of ridiculous things, and then I think I'm gonna cut this off. Because I'm not really accomplishing anything anymore. I'm just being silly. Which is fine. I like being silly. That's Hollywood for you. Oh, I spilled more ink today. Maybe I'll clean my blotter tomorrow. Maybe that's what I will do. What am I doing here? That was highly not what I wanted to do. Chill. I think I've used the same playlist for the past 3 weeks. I think. Binoculars. So you can see the Hollywood Hills. You gotta wear binoculars or look through binoculars. What am I writing? I'm doing ovals and I haven't even decided what to write yet. I'm running out of steam. It's funny, my ovals get really condensed on the right or on the left-hand side. Note to self, I gotta work on that. Fountain and Gower, yeah, that sounds like the type of place where people would be yelling for no reason, all hours of the day and night. No, it's not a new song. I mean, it's a really big playlist, so this song may not have come up over the past couple weeks. There's a lot of songs in there, and it plays on shuffle, so you never know what's gonna come. Oh, you know what I might do? So one of my favorite ways of practicing when I'm sitting and just working on stringing words together, I will often listen to an audiobook and I will write random words as they come up. I have to probably post a poll to see if people would be into this. But maybe I will post an audiobook that would be the audio. So it wouldn't be music, it would be a book of some kind. I gotta figure out copyright. I mean, I guess I'm not monetizing these videos, so there shouldn't be an issue with doing that. But the book would play and I would just practice as I normally practice, and you could too if you hear the words and as they sort of come out of the story. I just gotta make sure that my speakers will be loud enough. I might have to put in earphones because the music's pretty quiet for me. But that could be interesting. Then you guys can join me on an actual... it's weird because I don't call it a practice session, because practice sessions are usually like drills and drilling specific forms and like single letters. But it's a good way of practice. It's like working on spacing practice and stringing together words. Normally, what I'll do, I'll hear a sentence or a word, and I'll write that. And while I'm writing that, the story is just continuing on, and I'm sort of oblivious to it. Um, and then when I finish that word, whatever sort of the next word that I hear, that's what I write next. Um, you can go through some of my old writing from when I first started with fountain pens, and it's like stream of consciousness sort of practice a little bit, but you can read through and you can get a gauge of what book I was listening to. Like there's a lot of them. You can tell that they're Harry Potter because you can play through the chapters of the book like 3 or 4 sort of sentences per page type of thing. It's a little interesting, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe we'll add that to the late night live to-do list just for fun. What should I write as my last word? What do you guys think? I'm gonna write one more word, and then I'll can't or turn this live off and go build my bed because it's 11 p.m. and I don't have a bed frame to sleep on yet. But what should I write for the last word? T'Challa. We can do T'Challa. All right. Oh, I definitely pulled my nib out there quite a bit. That's better. Ooh, now we're like jazzy saloon music a little bit. All right, I'm gonna keep the same energy if I can, the same craziness, but how can I want to try to do the T and C all at once. Okay. We'll see if this works. It may not. The T and C. Wait, that doesn't look like a T and a C. Duh. Let me get a new sheet of paper and try again. I don't know if that'll work in general. May the force be with you. Okay. Maybe we'll do it with the cross of the T will be separate. That might look cool. End this. How do I want to end this? I want to get some. What is his? This isn't going to look right. No, that's not what I want it to look like. I want it to get like his. It just looks like a giant closed eye right now. I want it to get like his necklace thing. I want to think about that and see if I can make that design more in a cool way and have that be centered. The idea is there, but I gotta think better about, because yeah, legit to my it looks like a closed eye. But I bet there's a better way of doing that to get that more centered. If I were to do like a regular ending flourish, maybe. Oh, that would work if I finished the A. and then did them on that. Could be cool. I also gotta look at his... I'm gonna look at some photos of his necklace and see if I can't make it look more like his necklace. Necklace? Do you call it a necklace? It isn't really a necklace, it's a suit. Googling. Oh, that is basically what it looks like, but these start above. So if I did it again, if I had those hairlines, I would have to start, I would go into a shade. Oh, I'm totally off screen, sorry. I would have to turn my paper to get all of these, I think. But that's kind of neat. That looks less like an eye and more like his necklace, I think. Maybe I'll do this as an actual piece when I'm not just feeling crazy and playful. Oh, whoops, I forgot this has to go and make the seat. Darn it. Nope. Not gonna happen tonight, folks. I think I might have just wrecked this nib. For now, I have to tweak it back into shape, and I don't know where my loop is. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow if I get all of the list of things I said I have to do tomorrow finished. Maybe we'll do that. We're gonna call that a night tonight, folks. And I'm gonna go. Well, first, I'm gonna eat these cookies that I got from Subway. This video is not sponsored. I just got Subway before the video started. Oh. Yeah. Like, I have a mattress, but I'd like to build my bed frame. Also, the bed frame doubles as storage, so a lot of the stuff in this room can get put away under the bed. Oh, if I get it made. I also need to stretch and do some physio exercises. Goofity. Alright. Thank you very much for hanging out with me today, everybody. This honestly went a lot longer than I had anticipated it going tonight. I thought this was going to be a really short one, but again, we made it to 11:30, which is kind of bananas. Thank you for hanging out and putting up with my ridiculous, crazy playtime and just ridiculousness. I don't remember the last time I actually just went bonkers. Some of those flourishes were pretty out there, and I don't do that very often, but I think I want to do that more. Yeah, it's been awesome. Next week, I promise we'll do something a little more structured. The past couple weeks haven't been very. Maybe we'll do the sugar thing, or we'll do the audiobook thing. Not sure. Maybe I'll do a poll and see what people want. But it's been a fun night. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night or day, depending on what time zone you're in, and I will see you next week. Peace out, everybody. do. I said goodbye before I was on the screen to end the stream. End the stream. Peace.